Chris, Alex, are you ready to die twice?
I mean, I'm not a shadow.
It's true, you can only die once. However, I am a ninja, and I can die many times. In fact, many, many, many times.
Does ninja mean shadow?
I don't think so.
So it's a metaphor.
So this is From Software's new game, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice. It is not technically, air quotes, a Souls game, but it plays around with a lot of similar mechanics. So let's just kind of jump in here. I'll start a new game.
Okay, is it pronounced Sekiro? Because I've been pronouncing it Sekiro. Is that
That is also
Japanese is closer to Sekiro. So, right away, this game is very different than, like, pretty much any other FromSoft game in that, like, this game has a story with, like, characters in it that have dialogue and, like, they're not all just ghouls wandering around at the end of society. There are cinematics. Like, Bloodborne is probably the closest to this, but even Bloodborne is like, oh, you know, society already collapsed. Yeah, and there's characters, but they're all just sort of very,
they don't have anything else to say.
Yeah.
They're tired. I'm glad they're doing something different.
Yeah.
I mean, they're three into Dark Souls at this point, and Bloodborne is basically a sister project to Dark Souls. It was time for them to do something new, branch out a little bit.
And Dark Souls itself was just like, hey, what if we did Demon Souls, but not as a Sony exclusive? Like, because there was, like the Demon Souls license was tied up with, like, some kind of Sony exclusivity deal, so that's why they came up with Dark Souls instead. So this is, you are a set character in this game. There's no character creation whatsoever.
You are Johnny Wolf Ninja.
Actually, your name in this game is basically Wolf most of the time, so yeah.
No, I know that. I played that far. I have done. Yeah. I did my usual, like, Chris got to the Griffin in Witcher 3 thing with this game. Like, right. I got to the point where you go under a bridge, and there's a little guy wearing a hat under the bridge, and I killed him, and then I fell off the bridge, looked up, back at the bridge, realized that I have to climb my way back up, and said, I had a video to finish, and closed the game, and I have not played it since.
Now I'm going to be prepared for the guy under the bridge.
It's
like, I wouldn't have been suspicious of that bridge anyways.
Well, you climb up from under it, so it's not like you go under it. You are starting from under it because you're, like, climbing up a ravine. It's still in the tutorial area. I haven't even gotten to the point where you get to die twice yet.
Yeah, like, you stopped playing literally right before the tutorial section ends with a, like, supposed to lose fight, so...
That doesn't sound fun. Sorry, I mean
also, this is set in, like, an historical period. Like, the Ashina clan was a real clan that existed. I don't think they did the stuff that they did in this game, and certainly they didn't have a bunch of ogres running around. But, like, it's not just, like, generic medieval or Victorian fantasy. You know, this is like, oh, this is kind of grounded in Japanese myth, and historical, you know, romanticism almost, in a way that Dark Souls really isn't.
Right. It's closer to sort of what Arthurian legend would be to the, like, to the West, except I wouldn't want to make that comparison too literal because it's not that, but it's the same in the sense that it's historically grounded but totally fictionalized at the same time.
The other interesting thing about this game is that I had no idea it existed until like the month after or the month before it came out.
They were real silent on this whole thing.
Like I remember there, like in retrospect, I remember there was an E3 trailer about this, and it was like, oh, that's weird. They're doing Japan. That's an odd move for From. But like then I kind of forgot that it existed, and I thought this was that other samurai action game that's set during the Mongol invasion, and completely forgot that this game was even coming out.
Ghost of Tsushima, I think.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima.
And I don't want to ever play that game because I'm just going to want sushi the entire time because that's all that name reminds me of.
It's not even the same root
so
word.
good.
So, I just did something interesting. There's a jump button in this game.
Ooh.
That's new. There's never been a Souls game with a dedicated jump button. You would you'd do the sprint button, and then if you mash the sprint button while you were sprinting, you would do a jump, and it was really awkward and weird.
It is a game in a lot of ways about mobility, which doesn't sound that exciting until you realize it's a From game, and a From game with mobility is really weird.
Yeah, like you're kind of intentionally awkward in all the Souls games. Like the movement is not great, kind of on purpose. So also there's a stealth system in this game, which is also new. I mean, you could wander around without like alerting enemies to your presence, but like this game codifies it as a stealth system with the detection radiuses and cones and stuff, and like stealth areas like these bushes.
I can't see you.
Especially with that
There's
bright
an
orange
eavesdropping
coat.
system. Yeah.
The one thing I've read about this game that I really don't like, the only real, because I haven't gotten far enough to have specific gameplay criticisms, but the one thing I have heard, and I don't want to spoil anything, so I'm going to speak real obliquely, but this is one of those games that has multiple endings, like most From games, that require completely oblique, random things in order to unlock the good endings, and I hate those.
Well, really, I haven't finished this game. I'm about, I think, halfway through it, and I do not know about that. So, I don't know. I'm
not going to spoil
well,
it.
too late.
I have read.
I mean, that makes sense. It's not something that now that I know about it, that completely recontextualizes things. That's what I would expect From to do.
No, it's one of those that it's much like Dark Souls. You don't know you're making the decisions as you play, kind of, because it's just sort of you need to do this thing and then activate this thing over here, and then if you do this 3 times, you activate the secret end. It's one of those. So
we've got way more movement mechanics in this game than in any previous FromSoft game. You couldn't wall shimmy or cliffhang or anything in Dark Souls. And it's interesting. The game actually feels pretty good as far as running around feels in a way that I didn't expect. That said, this stuff does not get much use because immediately after the tutorial you get a grappling hook, and you can pretty much grapple hook everywhere.
And there's no, disadvantage to the hook over just jumping?
It can only go to certain things,
the hook
right?
is necessary to traverse many areas of the environment. That's how you usually, try to get up on top of roofs so you can, split who you're fighting or jump down on someone or so on. So I guess they locked him up in here with the sword?
Is he really locked up? I mean, you just climbed in through a gaping hole in the side of the building.
Well, presumably some, like, 12-year-old kid would not be able to climb out through there. Like, there are even people that we were eavesdropping on before talking about, like, it's nothing, he can't get out.
But isn't this like a spirit?
No, this is a dude. This is a person. In fact, the vast majority of people in this game are alive, which is a weird thing to say out of context, but in Souls games is definitely a departure. We just have one sword. There's no equipment. Like, you don't get armor. You don't get, like, multiple different weapons to equip. You do get, like, what are called shinobi equipment, which are various different tools that you can use, and they're bound to, the right trigger. But, like, you're not doing things where, like, oh, I found a greatsword, and now I'm doing a greatsword build, and it changes the way that my whole moveset.
From what I've read and the brief bit I've played, it really feels like they're trying to move away from sort of like... They're trying to capture a lot of the learning an enemy thing, but sort of mixing it up a little bit. Like, I'm trying to figure out how to describe this. I think it was Austin Walker that said basically it was like trying to, instead of making it a sort of dance where you go back and forth, it's more about the tension of the moment where, like, do I strike or do I block and try to parry? And, like, that, trying to capture that stretched out over a fight and keep it just constantly tense. Constantly, like, on the knife's edge of either you're about to literally die or you're about to just completely own this guy at all times. Whereas in Dark Souls, it was a little bit more of a give and take.
Yeah, that's very consistent with what I've experienced. This game is extremely punishing in the beginning, to an extent that I'm kind of... I still think that the game might be better if you could take a few more hits at the start. It gets better when you get the hang of things and you start getting upgrades, and you get more health, and now you can actually take hits, and you've got more uses of your heals, so you can last longer and so on. But the beginning, like, I spent a good 5 or 6 hours not having fun with this game at all, as I tried to learn how it's supposed to work. This is the new combat system, and it's a very interesting departure from normal Souls combat. So, like, Dark Souls 1, you basically had two ways that you could, two general strategies you could use for fighting, which was either get a big shield and hide behind it, and then, like, soak up hits until the enemy is done with their attack animation, and then attack them back. Or you could dodge everything and, use iframes to avoid getting hit by enemy attacks, and then punish them after their animation is finished. There was also a parry system. You could do that. I was not paying attention to my health at all there.
You were supposed to use them as soon as you picked them up, because
yeah, I forgot about that. I was just not looking at my health, and I was like, huh. No, okay. This guy ain't got shit.
I mean, they're the weak guys. You just can keep tapping R1 to just wipe them out.
So basically, as the Souls games kind of progressed, they leaned more and more heavily towards dodging. Like, Dark Souls 2, you don't get a shield in that game that can block 100% physical damage until fairly far into the game. Bloodborne, the only shield in that game is a joke. You're not supposed to use shields. And then, Dark Souls 3 kind of continued that pattern. This game, if you try to dodge attacks primarily, you will die, and you will be very frustrated, like I was. This game expects you to be blocking everything.
But blocking isn't enough because it eats up your stamina, doesn't it? Like, you need to be parrying is really...
Yeah, but trade-off of that is like, unless an attack is specifically marked with a particular indicator that's like a big red kanji that shows up, you can block it. There is no unblockable attacks in this game aside from the ones that are specifically mentioned. And while you're blocking, you can also tap the left button, which is the block button, to do a parry, which, unlike in old Souls games, you know, you'd parry something and that would give you a punish. In this game, parrying just blocks, like, perfect blocks the attack so it doesn't do a whole lot of damage to your posture and does a bunch of damage to the enemy's posture bar. So you'll notice that, like, above that guy is his posture bar, on the bottom is my posture bar. I'm trying to block and do damage to this guy's posture before he can beat out my posture bar. And if I do, I get that thing where there's that red sign over his head.
Oh, we're in trouble.
Like I just broke my posture. Yeah. I get that thing where there's that big sign over his head or on his chest, and then I can do a death blow like this. So the game is, like, the actual gameplay loop is figure out your enemy's animation set, learn to predict their moves, block and parry as much as possible, and that's how you manage to beat most enemies in this game, which is unusual for Souls games.
We're not gonna go meet Bridge Guy.
No, we are. I just
Come on.
He's up there just
So
waiting
I have
for
a question. My immediate question is this just, if you're a person that just doesn't enjoy parrying, is this just not a game for like that?
So it's way easier to do than in previous Souls games. How do I get up there?
Like I'm speaking, I'm kind of alluding to myself. Like, for example, I was one of those people that learned by the end of the game that you could do that in Breath of the Wild, and then I just hated it, and I just don't care.
Have you played any? Have you played any of Assassin's Creed Origins or Odyssey?
No, I haven't played any Assassin's Creed games.
Get up there.
Because the parrying is a little. Go ahead, sorry.
I only watched whatever Josh has played.
Here we go.
So I don't think there's any.
Similar to that game. It's a little bit less lenient. Assassin's Creed is really lenient. Assassin's Creed straight up goes like, you know, within about 2 seconds, you're going to parry somebody's incoming attack. Here it's down to about like 750 milliseconds. It's way more generous than it is in Dark Souls. Dark Souls, you had to be within a couple frames. Like, Dark Souls was like...
yeah, Dark Souls had, like, an animation associated with it, so you'd hit parry, and the parry would not be immediate. In this game, there really isn't an animation to it, so you can just mash the left button, and you'll probably get parries. It's way easier than it seems like it does, like it will be on first glance. That's another thing you kind of have to get used to. Like, you're used to hard parries with Dark Souls, where you have to really pay attention to the animation.
I just find it exhausting. Like, I enjoy it when it's implemented in a game well, but if a whole game is just based on that, I just find that's, like, just not interesting and, like, goes against my natural instincts when I play this kind of stuff. Which is why I like Bloodborne the best.
I can see that. Yeah. That's the other thing that got me, is like, this is a weird turn. We're kind of going back to, like, Dark Souls 1's, like, the way everybody played it initially, which is, like, block everything with a shield and then, you know, attack when the moment is right. That's kind of what you do in this game. There's the added element where you're supposed to also be parrying, or, well, it's called deflecting enemy attacks. And there's some stuff that switches it up with unblockable attacks, which we'll see here in a minute. You got anything to say?
It also gets a little bit more complicated when you're fighting multiple enemies at once.
Yeah, the game does suffer from, like, if you're fighting multiple enemies at once, it's a lot harder.
Well, I don't know if it suffers. I mean, some people think the difficulty is the point in these things in From games.
Well, I mean, like it's not suffers, but it's like every other Souls game, from software game, and that like if you're like they're designed for 1v1 fights more or less.
This is pretty.
And the combat system, it gets a lot harder to do that when you've got like 4 or 5 enemies attacking you at once. So here's the like, I don't know, this guy's the mid-game boss, so like unless I'm about to finish the game, because I'm fighting this guy on my current playthrough, either way you cannot win this fight, but you can kind of win this fight. So we're gonna see if I do better at this than I did the last time I was here, where I got completely destroyed immediately. So again, like, this is really weird. Like, this is not what you'd expect to see in a FromSoft game. Is this, like, you know, encounter with dialogue and standoffs and stuff?
I mean, in some ways it feels very From. It's very animation driven, and it's 2 people meeting on a battlefield of epic proportions in sort of a almost hyper-real space, almost gothic. So in some ways it is very From, but other ways, yeah, it's like totally different.
I think that a lot of like Dark Souls may be very medieval, but I think it's a very Japanese take on medieval.
Yeah.
So I don't really see this. Maybe it's because I've also played a lot of Neo, but like I don't see this as big of a departure.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is like Neo was kind of this game. It's even set in the same time period.
It kind of bridged the gap.
Yeah. And doesn't it have some kind of like more actiony like combo move system?
Yeah.
Than just like, you know, light attack, heavy. In fact, there is no heavy attack in this game. There's just one attack button.
Yeah, there's like a bunch of different like weapons and weapon styles, and you're like changing stances.
Yeah.
So that's like the big thing about it, is like there's like you switch stances like mid-fight, and every like weapon has different stances.
Yeah. So I imagine going from Nioh to this game is probably a lot easier than going from like Dark Souls 3 to this game, which is essentially what I did. I think the last From Software game I played was when I beat Dark Souls 3.
I'd be curious to see what people end up preferring more. This game seems to have simpler mechanics, that it seems to just rely more on timing, whereas Neo had that whole, like, the stances thing is really, really difficult, actually, because you're juggling 3 different types of attacks with each weapon.
We got ourselves a robot arm.
We Evil Deaded it.
So soon.
So I don't know how much of this is actually necessary for us to go through before we can get going here.
I saw a joke on Twitter that was great. That was basically like the cover to this game, Deus Ex Human Revolution, The Fourth, I think, and a few others, where it's like, it is me, video game protagonist, whose left hand does things. Which is kind of a weird trope at this point. Like the robotic left hand that can just do our non-main video game function.
So eventually you get tools that can be fitted to this thing that have like ammunition charges, like reminiscent of the old Souls magic system.
Can you get an ACOG scope?
I have not found any of them to be even remotely useful in normal combat. Like they all feel kind of like gimmicks. Where like, oh, there's this one specific enemy that has a shield because, of course, and you get an axe and you can break the shield in one hit. You know, and that's what you use the axe for. It seems like they seem to be really difficult and risky to use in like any encounters where they're not specifically designed to counter whatever enemy you're fighting, which is a little disappointing. But
this game also, and speaking of things that make it different from other From games, this game doesn't have any multiplayer or invasions, does it?
There's no multiplayer functionality in this game whatsoever. No invasions, no notes, no ghosts, no summoning spirits. Which, yeah, is like I get the feeling this game is probably going to have a lot less of a long tail than like the Souls games have, like on YouTube and in internet communities, because like those games got a lot of you know, popular coverage because of their multiplayer systems, and this game does not have any of them. And you can kind of understand why. Like, looking at the combat system, this would just be the worst to have to play against someone else with this very specifically timed parry block attack system.
It is a shame, though, because it is a thing that kind of helps people when they're stuck.
Yeah, there are still NPC summons, which is, well, I've run into one where in front of a boss, an NPC was standing there and was like, oh, I'll help you, and ran into the boss and just died immediately.
Hey, help! That's helping, you know.
Yeah. So bonfires are now Sculptor's idols. And this screen is a lot more complicated than you've probably ever seen it. Like, what the hell is Unseen Aid? So this game has, like, there are no stats in this game either, not as such. Like, you don't go and raise your dex so you can roll better. It does have a skill tree, actually, which is, you know, another thing. Like, a lot of games that have been aping, you know, Dark Souls mechanics in various ways would add like a skill tree or something more RPG-y. Well, this game has one of those now, so that's interesting. And there are other things that you can get that increase your vitality and your attack power and stuff like that, but okay, let's get through here. Cool. So this is basically your Estus flask. If you find gourd seeds, you get and give them to her. She'll give you an extra use of it. There is another guy up in this area that will do all your training stuff so you can learn the game mechanics. I highly recommend you do a lot of that if you're just starting this game out, but since I have basically done all this training, I'm going to skip that for now. Oh.
I want a fancy
so
robot
you see
arm.
these various points that are having like little white green circles appear on them. That's where you can grapple to. Also, fast travel is unlocked at the very beginning of the game, so you can also grapple to one direction and then grapple to another grapple point in midair, which is always fun to do.
I almost wonder if this is like a From take on Arkham Asylum to some extent. Like, it's all
kinda, you know, like it feels like they're trying to do like maybe a From version of Devil May Cry or more of an action game.
Right. Like, it's still a From game, but it's more action oriented, more beat 'em up oriented.
Yeah. Okay. We get our ceramic shards, which are totally worthless and you never use. Fistful of Ash, which I never use either. Hi.
That's the Evil Dead connection.
This is actually a prequel to all the Evil Dead stuff.
It's the Japanese take on Evil Dead. It's fine.
You know, I would actually pay good money to see.
The more I think about it, the more I like this idea. No, don't attack the dog!
They won't hurt me.
It didn't look like it was full of blood, though.
Also, obviously the biggest departure in this game is that the dogs are just totally garbage and not at all annoying to fight. Whereas in every other From Software game, any dogs are just like, oh man.
Yeah.
You guys just jump around and take like way too many hits. Not in this one. They're also roosters.
So that's something I haven't figured out.
Oh my god, that is a giant rooster.
Yeah, there's something... That's one of the things that marks this as the weird mythical version of Japan where all the animals are giant.
Yeah, there's also... in fact, we'll see here very soon. I could backstab this guy, but let's just fight him.
It's mythical Japan without, like, the spirit element, though, which is, like, so, I feel like, intrinsic. Like, the fact that there are no ghosts and everyone's alive is just, like, too weird.
Yeah. Oh.
But there's giant chickens. And that's just a thing.
I welcome our new chicken overlords.
Forget, this guy only does the unblockable super attack, so I can just jump it every time, right? Cool. Ah, damn it. Again, this game is really like I'm pretty decent at this game now, and that's, you know. Oh, do we get a... Oh, right, we get a cutscene at the first time this happens. So,
Now we get to die twice.
yeah. So, your name in this game is Sekiro, and you can die twice. So even if you screw up and you mess up your fight, you get this ability to
You literally can die twice.
revive once, which you can...
But like even the weird video game counter, like he's got a health bar, but on top of the health bar, oh, you're gonna push him off, aren't you?
No, I got him.
He's got a health bar, but he also has the little red dots, and those red dots determine how many killing blows he can take. So you can either atrophy him through actual slashes, or you could just do the number of killing blows it takes to kill someone.
You can also stealth behind a lot of bosses like that and backstab them. Although I have tested it, and you cannot double backstab a boss. You still have to fight them at least once. We're going to go over here, activate this shrine, and teleport back to...
Wait, so do the bosses only have 2 death blows too?
Some bosses don't even have 2. It depends on which boss.
Well, it's just interesting that becomes one of those From Software lore things where like figuring out who has 2 means they're a ninja, and then there's a whole, I'm sure, lore associated with who gets 2 and who doesn't.
I don't think that's actually in the game at all. I think it's just straight gameplay mechanics.
Oh, really? That does not sound like From Software.
I mean, maybe it's like something that I missed in like item descriptions or something. Like this game still has like the item description as lore thing going on pretty heavily.
I've just seen so many YouTube videos breaking down the most minute things about random Dark Souls items.
Yeah. Yeah, like that's, you know, I think that's the thing I find so weird about this game, is that its story is a lot more text than subtext. Dark Souls has a very basic, like, oh, you're the chosen undead, you gotta go ring the bells so you can go get the Lord Vessels, so you can get the Lord Souls, and go to the first flame and link with it so you can replenish it. Or not. But, like, everything underneath that, like, who these characters are, what's going on, that's all subtext. Whereas this one, Sekiro
it's
here, like, he's a failed shinobi, he needs to get back his lord and everything. Like, there's a lot more, like, oh, this is like, you could read a book about this.
I guess that's what makes this game so interesting, is that it is a break with what From has done otherwise, which I appreciate, because a lot of the Dark Souls-y, Bloodborne-y stuff was getting really samey. But in moving away from that, they've moved to a much more traditional, much safer approach to game design, which is just bizarre to some extent, to see them be this sort of conservative in what they're doing. A very traditional story, with very straightforward characters, a much more action-oriented gameplay. I'm glad to see them break out, and I do like the game, but it's not like it's a completely different flavor of weird. It's moving away from weird and towards very, very safe, established concepts.
Predictable moments.
Yeah.
Like things you come to expect from the regular beats of like a game like this.
Right. Like, there's still weirdness, but it's just sort of muted. Like, giant chickens has been about the only thing where we go, what the heck? Everything else has been... I mean, this could have been a ninja game by almost anyone else except for its, emphasis on high lethality and difficulty. And dying in progress.
Yep. What's going on here? There we go.
I do love it, though. Like, just watching people play it makes me want to play it.
Yeah, like when you get... That's the thing, is like when you actually nail how to play the gameplay systems, like, this is really fun. What? That's not fair. Come on. Throw it to attack at me so I can...
That's not fair.
Deal with this guy up here. What are you even shooting at? Come on. Uh-oh. Oh yeah, so there's a not quite realistic element.
Ogres! I assume it's an ogre and not just a big
I would
big
really
guy.
like to kill this guy. Come on.
Is there a Japanese... I'm sure there is. What is the actual name for that sort of a character in Japan? Because ogres is more of a...
An oni? That's just like a demon.
It's a demon. Yeah. I'm doing stupid stuff right now. All right,
I think that
fight this guy like
oni
you're
is
supposed to.
oni is like a more umbrella term, so I think it includes like demons, devils, ogres, trolls.
Yeah.
Because you definitely see those type of figures with like the oni masks.
Can you not block his attacks?
I can. It's that guy's a very like Dark Souls-y sort of enemy, and I still find myself occasionally like falling into Dark Souls habits of like, oh, I should just dodge this guy. Yeah, thank you. I know how that works.
It's weird because I've only ever actually beaten Dark Souls 3, so the impulse to play that isn't as ingrained in me as it is, I think, in you, where you've played Bloodborne, Dark Souls 2, and Dark Souls 3,
right.
and Demon Souls, and so like and also
Actually,
I've been playing a lot.
Get around to finishing Bloodborne,
Well, but I mean, like, I've been mostly just playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey lately, so I'm like real in the like parry mood.
Well, that's not. Why are you locking onto that guy? Hey, hi.
Peri chicken.
Oh, now I want peri chicken.
Peri giant chicken.
Well, that just feeds the family.
don't want to fight that ogre first. Can one of you guys come up?
You have no family.
Oh.
You have to eat the
Oh,
whole
no.
chicken yourself.
Now it sounds more like the BoJack Horseman episode where they take the chicken to the farm.
Camera in this game is still not good, which is kind of a Souls series staple.
And probably more of a problem in this with the combat.
Yeah, there's a boss that does a lot of jumping around and okay, you broke my bar there. And occasionally ends up like with a pillar slightly behind her. I don't know what kind of unblockable attack that is.
Grumpy.
And I had several instances where I got totally screwed in that fight because the camera stopped locking on and she got behind me and threw knives at me until I died or something.
I mean, I get what they're going for here, right? Like, the idea is to constantly be engaging. In some ways it's an extension of, like we were talking about how it is rolling back towards Dark Souls 1 and being defensive, but it's also kind of not. It's also an encouragement to always be engaging because you don't want to be running away. The only way to take these guys out is to be blocking and getting them off of their things, to be tempting them to hit you.
Yeah.
But like, unlike Dark Souls where you wanted to tempt them to hit you and then just roll out of the way or just take a shield to absorb the damage, here it becomes a little mini game where you have to actually deflect to knock their posture down.
This character's right out of Majora's Mask.
So that bell is going to take us to a dream. Also, here's her actual son. This guy's not doing so great.
But it's a bell that takes us to a dream, which sounds very Dark Souls. I just want to say that. Like,
yes.
Ringing a bell to go into a dream sounds very Bloodborne, actually.
Yes.
Yep. I want to kind of... Where's the nearest... I think there's a fire coming up. I want to get into the dream because the end boss of the dream is probably my favorite boss fight in the whole game so far. And it would be cool if we could get there in time. I don't know how long we've been going, but now... Cool if I also don't die. Let's deal with...
As
shooting
explosions.
Oh, they blew up their friends. Okay, cool.
It's another victim of the trench.
Also,
I didn't know they could actually mortar the enemies in this game could mortar themselves. Like,
I also, this might be a little bit of heresy, but I think this might be my favorite looking FromSoft game. The super gothic, super dourness of all the other games always put me off on them, but this game really is
definitely
kind of
more
pretty.
colorful.
Yeah.
Not like that's saying much, but like the scene at the beginning with the leaves and the field of the white plants.
did I get the first Shinobi prosthetic? Oh, we can go back for it if I didn't. We will meet this guy in the dream/memory. I hope you don't mind if I'm, like, kind of going through the text here pretty fast, but
No,
I don't think too many people care that much about all of this dude's dialogue. Oh yeah, souls in this game are money. And they're not used for upgrading your stats or anything or leveling up. There's a vision we can have over here, but not really. Oh, you know what? Alright, let's just fucking kill this boss.
Let's do it. Let's have a dream.
Very stealthy. If they turn around and
buddy.
just see you with your hand up to your ear like that, hello?
Come on. What is up with this guy's attack pattern? Usually I expect them to immediately attempt to attack after blocking, because most guys do. Come on, dude. Don't have the counter ability for that. What am I? Oh, I'm stuck on the stairs.
Is he a boss?
No, that guy's not a boss. This guy's the boss. See if we can beat this guy in one try. Especially
I
since
thought we were
going to
go to
the fire
Dream
yet.
Boss. Well, now his name's just flagrantly wrong, Josh.
No.
He still has chains on him.
Stop spamming grab attacks! God damn it.
That'll mess up your posture.
I don't really like this boss fight very much.
I like it. He's got a skull for a head.
And you can grapple onto the bosses?
Some of them.
This one you can.
That was a straight up
that
wrestling
stuns him.
move. Like, I think he suplexed you.
I like
Come
this
on.
song. Like the violin is
Music in this
really
game. I mean,
interest-
music in Souls games, yeah. No, no, no.
Yeah, that's totally a suplex.
Whoa!
Or whatever
that's not
wrestling
what I
move
wanted.
that is. I mean, he got you out of there.
Oh, jeez. Teach me to fucking heal in the middle of a fight. Alright.
they don't really give you a lot of time.
No, that... No! Oh, stop! Like, this is a boss that you do have to kind of do the whole, like, old school Dark Souls dodge thing from, because so many of his attacks are the unblockable grab attacks that he does, which cannot be blocked at all. Like, there's different kinds of unblockable attacks, and those grab attacks are just like, nope, fuck you.
Should we just summon the...
Go
Can
in
we
here
go to the dream?
and- Yes. So that's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna fight that guy again, because that's not that interesting. Come on, let me up.
He goes, "Rawr!" That's my favorite thing about him. Oh, we have to use the bell in the temple?
Yeah, there's a statue we use it at. Alright, first let's talk to this guy so we can get shurikens. That's one of our skill books that allows us to unlock skills of a certain kind. So I should show that at some point. Blah, 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 blah. Fit prosthetic.
Blah, 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 techno crap, blah, blah. I was watching old episodes of Spoiler Warning, and I realized how often I just randomly quote Mystery Science Theater. It's embarrassing.
You do.
And nobody ever gets it. That's the sad thing. And I don't just mean like the show, the people on the show. I mean like, it's just sad.
I came from a time when the internet was doing Mystery Science Theater better after Mystery Science Theater. So then going back to watching Mystery Science Theater is like really boring. And I hate all the puppet bits and they're really boring. Because I'm just like, why are you not talking about the movie? You talk less about the movie and more about things I don't care about.
I still hold the original
Mystery Science Theater at all.
I hold the original run in too much nostalgia respect to not feel that way. But I agree with you in terms of the new Netflix run. I really can't vibe on it.
So here we are,
so
3 years in the
dream.
past. Yep. It's really a memory dream. Here, we'll acquire skills. So yeah, this game has a skill tree. I'm actually not going to acquire any of these skills because the one I want is the Makiri counter, which I don't have enough XP to get. And you just get XP from killing people, so... I don't know, what is it actually called? This doesn't appear to have any kind of name.
This is really pretty.
Yeah.
Also, I love that there is fall damage, and it makes you make that jump and then have to do the timing. Like, that's just a very From thing.
Because it's another opportunity to punish you.
Yes.
It's like, of course you're going to take fall damage.
Actually, the fall damage in this game is super, super forgiving. Like, it takes a lot, like a very long drop to suffer any fall damage. Like, if you fall off of an edge into a bottomless pit, you don't just die. You get teleported back up to the top and like lose half your health. Like that, it's super forgiving with that stuff. Hey yo, what's up?
Oh, I like the vaguely medieval looking armor there.
Where? Oh, you mean on that guy?
Yeah, and the other guy. The guy you took out. He had like a... At least, I could be misseeing things through the stream, but it looked like he had like an old school helmet.
A bit, yeah. Well, used to those guys being able to get their attack off while I was doing a running attack. So these are your ammo. For your Shinobi prosthetic.
I'm gonna be honest, Spirit Emblem sounds like it could be a, you know what? Fire Emblem expansion.
They look like little crosses, so I just call them crosses.
That makes me want a Castlevania game in this vein, but then I remembered there was a Castlevania game in this vein, and it was not good.
Castlevania doesn't do non-Castlevania very well.
Castlevania as God of War was... it didn't work.
Castlevania was also a fighting game.
Oh, that's right. Oh, God. Now I'm sad.
It's very bad.
Oh, jeez.
And it looks horrible.
2 archers.
So is that like a saying in Japan or something?
Nope.
That shadows die twice? Like all the guys are standing around you, your dead body, going like, you know what they say, he's gonna get back up.
So you see the little pink counter on my, like above my health bar, the little circle that's not full yet. That's my resurrection charge.
So you can die more than
open
twice.
This door on the other side? Yeah, so if you die and then you take the time to, you know, get your, like, kill some people, get your resurrection bar back, then...
So the title's a lie, is what I'm hearing.
Can't... What are you doing? Okay. There we go. Ah! These guys, these are not nice people. Hang on. You got your typical, like, consumable, oh, do more damage, you know.
I have to say that core loop of like breaking them down to the point where you can do the kill effect and then doing it is just, it's satisfying just to watch, and it makes me want to play the game. Okay, maybe not on dogs, but
yeah,
on people.
I just wish people, like, they would just stop putting dogs in game.
yeah.
It's not necessary. Like, no one wants to kill dogs, even if they're like a little angry.
I don't mind it when it's like Dark Souls style demon dog from hell Cerebus kind of thing.
Sure.
But
Some weird stuff going on here.
like Call
If
of
they've
Duty
got
style.
mostly fur. The fur is mostly there, then it's not okay. Actually, I don't like killing most realistic animals in games. Like, I don't know. I don't like seeing it in, like, Assassin's Creed when you kill the poor hippo.
Why did they make hippos in that game fightable enemies? Like, not only would a hippo just fucking wreck you, regardless of how strong you are, like...
I don't know, I bet I could
just
take a hippo. If I had an M16 or something, I could take a hippo.
God damn.
That's the solution.
Womp, womp, womp,
Alright, I'm just gonna run past these guys, because I don't actually need to kill them. Don't think we're gonna be able to get to that boss, though. Just... this level's not that short.
Gives us motivation to get to it ourselves.
Also,
And
there's
by
another boss
us,
in
I
front of
mean
the boss.
none of us. We'll never get there.
Hi guys, what's up? Bye.
I like that you just skip everything we just did, like that fast.
Ah, damn it. Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna die.
Yeah, but then you
Those are
get
gonna
cocky and the game puts you back in your place.
This is that merchant we met. Hey, what's up?
Go be a shadow.
Can you kill him?
I mean, you're in the past. I don't think
Probably.
you. But you're in the past.
You should
What happens
try
if you
that.
kill him in the past?
I don't know.
He doesn't come back in the future. Kill him! Kill him!
We retroactively undo the conversation we had.
Josh, go!
Oh, this guy's got quite a posture
Oh,
bar.
shit! He took out
He's
his
dead.
weapon. Oh, never mind.
I got 26 gold off of him.
I feel like the game's gonna punish us somehow for that, because that
Probably.
feels like a mistake.
He'll die twice.
I get it.
That's possible. He does respawn. I don't know. You can eavesdrop on these guys.
Just farm him
those
for
blue
26
flowers
gold
are
a
nice.
piece.
Oh, what? Where did you come from? Fuck you guys.
They came from ninja school, duh.
hate fighting these guys. Because they sometimes stumble and sometimes they don't. Oh, man. Hang on.
This is a weird video game of Rurouni Kenshin.
Can eavesdrop on these guys who are not willing to loot this temple because they're worried about, you know, karma and whatever. What? Just... That was weird. But we need it because this is where we get the axe.
Thought you only get one weapon.
No, that's a thing we'll put in our left arm, and then an axe will pop out of our left arm when we want it to.
We are a video game character whose left arm what do things.
Okay.
That said, I have to go back to the dude to do that, so I can't actually, you know...
We killed him.
Fight those guys right now. Well, I can. They will eventually do a big charge that you can use to get behind them, but... So...
Remember when everyone thought this might be Dark Souls Mario Kart?
Dark Souls Mario Kart?
What?
The trailer for this? The trailer, because what they show in the trailer is them... The announcement trailer was them making the robot hand. That's all bone and gears, and everyone thought it was going to be dark, and it was from Software, so people just assumed it was going to be like Dark Souls Kart. Am I the only one
I don't
who
remember that at all.
I don't remember that, but
Am
then
I
again, like I said, I don't remember.
We definitely watched the trailer
damn.
together because we've been streaming E3.
Come on.
Womp womp womp.
Alright, let's go back and... Oh, okay, we're back here now. This happens sometimes.
You didn't make it through the dream. Why are we under this thing again?
Looks like the most uncomfortable blanket.
Yeah.
The first time it happened, I thought this was like going to be like a weird Groundhog Day thing where if you die enough times, like time gets reset or something. But no. If
That
you
would
die
be
enough
so
times,
cool.
If you die enough times, other NPCs get sick. Which... Wow, I just brought Essence to 2 people, really? That'll prevent you from doing their storylines.
Oh.
But it's actually... It's way more perfunctory than it looks. Like, it's actually really, really easy to cure when you want to. It's just, you have to get far enough in the game to do it. Oh, I don't want to ask about the Dragon Rod, I just want to get the axe.
But then, like, NPCs can die?
No, they, like, get sick. Basically, your resurrective power, I guess, draws from the resurrective power that anyone else who has the same, divine air blood. Oh, did I not open the... Oh. I guess I traveled to the wrong place. Okay. Oh, no, I went through the... Yeah. Get Mercury counter so I can fight the dude with the... And then... What's the one that allows you to heal? I think I want to go this way. So you also have an equipable special move. Put the axe in here, and then we've got one combat art we can use, which is, in this case, is Whirlwind Slash. I think they're all activated the same way, which is you hold LB, so your block button, and then you hit your attack button, and it does that. Alright, let's rush to that Spear Milk boss. Oh, but I do want to... I am curious if... I'm curious if that guy respawned. Damn it. Oh no, he's dead. Alright. You killed him, Alex. Now he's dead forever.
Really?
Well, we haven't checked in the present timeline, but yes, in the past, he's still dead.
That's true. He's dead forever in the past.
Well, now we know.
And knowing is half the battle. The other half was killing him.
He didn't even put up a fight. I was expecting him to, like, just knock you out.
Like Spelunky merchant level of like,
yes.
oh, you did the bad thing.
Yeah, like where he just blows up the room and one-shots you.
Oh, man. God damn it. Who else is... Alright, here. I have an idea.
Oh, is that boss fog? Do they have boss fog in this game again?
Yes. I have to kill that mini-boss to open the door. Can I just sequence break this? Do I even need to kill that guy?
Go scootily poop your way over there. Scooch! I swear to God, I'm surprised more sound clips of me saying things on this show don't end up as counter-arguments to anything I say at Errant Signal.
Right? Like, you're so super serious on the internet, and then on this show, you're completely goofy.
I'm also glad people aren't watching these videos like that, like, waiting for someone to slip up. That's just horrible. Don't do that, anyone watching. I know you guys don't.
I mean, they're waiting for Josh to slip up, but that's only because it's hilarious. Because we're gonna die.
Oh, of course. That
We're never
yeah.
gonna see that boss.
Damn it. Come on. There we go.
Oh, it's fire damage. Okay.
Yeah, it will eventually build up to...
Like in Horizon and other games. Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah. It's pretty much exactly the way it's always worked in Dark Souls, so...
Yeah. Don't you know that? You should know that.
I
The
do not
secret
remember
lore of the dots.
I do not remember how dots work in Dark Souls at all.
It's all about the lore, man.
I genuinely would be curious to know where that started. Not dots, but like the concept of an environmental or dot effect that needs to be applied by taking a certain amount of dot damage over time to trigger the dot.
I feel like that's...
Oh, no. Fire.
I don't think Final Fantasy has anything like that. It has, like, effect that takes time to apply, so, like, death. Where, like, every turn the counter goes down and then you die. But that's more of like a turn-based thing.
Alright, so here is one of the 2 bosses of this area. And we'll see if we can get him on the first try, because this isn't even the boss that I want to show. But he's surrounded by a lot of ads, as you can see. So we're going to run around and kill all the other
Everything's
guys,
monetized
and then we'll
these
fight
days.
him. Yeah. He's very big on Google AdSense.
Is Josh
His
about to
SEO
engage in
optimization's
some
pretty good.
ad block?
And add parry. That's where you watch a little bit of the commercial and can skip it like 10 seconds in.
It's where you click the skip as soon as that button is available.
Yes.
Like you engage as much of the ad as you have to, and not a second more. So do you get iframes during the assassinations?
Yes, you are invincible during
Cool.
assassination. Yes. Okay, cool. So we've got all that. Now, you can fight this guy normally, or you can do what I did, which is to
Get him more
run
drunk.
away from him enough so that he de-aggroes, and then he'll just go and stand in the center of that field, and then we can backstab him.
This feels a little cheap.
Cheap or ingenious?
Both.
It's all
Is he
part
in
of
the
the
field?
fight. He's drunk, you gotta outsmart him.
He's also like 9 feet tall. Cool. Alright. And then we'll, just for kicks, we'll also get this guy to help us.
Is this the guy that just ran in and died?
Yeah, this is the guy I mentioned running in and dying. Oh. Oh.
He's got a real speech there. If he survives, he will be appointed new shopkeep.
I would love if that was actually the mechanic.
You like recruit people.
So you notice you can kill enemies with vitality damage.
Right, you don't have
Notice
to
that
do
guy
the
has a
killing
health
move.
bar there as well. And I actually beat him not by blocking or you know, attacking his defenses, but by just knocking his health down and immediately got the thing. Do you say anything? Cool. Alright, now we can finally get to the boss fight I was talking about that's really good.
Here we go.
All right, this better be amazing. Is there a save point between here and there?
Yep, it's right here. That's good because this is kind of your early game exam fight. This is the fight that I did like literally about 30 times. And really just kind of forced me to learn how the game works, so... This guy gives you a snap seed to break out of illusions that she has, but it turns out it's better to just run away for a while when that happens, so...
Seems to be a trend.
Yeah, a little bit. I have no idea if I can beat this, locked.
This is another Evil Dead reference.
Do I need to get a key?
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
No boss for us.
Oh no, okay, I think it's over here. Or... Did that open it?
I doubt it.
Oh, shit. I know what's going on. I have to go talk to someone on the way you're supposed to go through this level in order to get to this boss.
Oh boy.
Hang on, I can do that too.
Your patience,
Detour.
your test of patience was failed. You ran through and it caused you to miss the whole thing.
Yeah, I missed the important conversation I'm supposed to have. God damn it. Well, now I know that I can't just skip the first leg of this thing to speedrun it. Come on.
Speedrunners, take note.
Can I? No. Not quite. Hi, what's up?
What? Oh. I was confused because I just saw you running and just say, hi, what's up? And I... The lag got...
That door appears to be open now. Oh no, it's got boss fog on. Come on. Let me grapple
Wait,
shit.
so
Thank you.
I'm confused. Which is the way into the boss? Because there was an area that was really intimidating, which had all the dead bodies and people saying, "Don't go in there. There's illusions." And then there's boss fog, which in Dark Souls you usually
this is a
associate
mini
with a
boss.
boss.
I gotta kill the monk with the spear to open that door. Can you please stop knowing I'm here? Here, go this way. Okay, it seems like everybody is mostly... Where is that? Where is that guy with the thing?
He's to the right, where the yellow arrow is.
Yeah, I see him. He's saying hi. Oh, that didn't do the counter on that for some reason. No.
It was unblockable.
The counter I have specifically allows me to deflect that particular unblockable attack. Unblockable doesn't mean unparryable. Sometimes it also means that, but there we go.
Oh, because you have the axe? Is that...
Shit. I actually interrupted that guy when I did not want to. No. Oh, come on. Oh, damn it.
There's a lot of guys here.
Oh, the good news is I got my resurrects back.
So is Resurrect driven by, you doing
I
kills?
do not want this to be on the screen right now. Holy shit. Is it what?
Driven by you doing kills? Or is it just time?
Yeah,
You
it's kill people, get experience, and it does not come back over time. Oh, damn it. I tried to counter the wrong kind of unblockable attack there. I can't freaking... So the worst part about this is, if I was just doing it normally, I would have gotten through it just fine.
Well, we're substantially over time, Josh.
Yeah, if you don't like, I might just like cut some of that stuff. I don't know if you guys even want to stick around or if we should just end it here. But I really want to show that damn fight off.
Do you think you could get into it this life?
Yeah, it's definitely possible.
Realistically.
Come on. Come here. One of you approach so I can...
That was kind of cool.
Okay. So what we're gonna do... We're gonna try to backstab the monk. And then...
So what is the yellow thing, if it's not the monk?
Hmm?
The yellow indicator on your HUD earlier.
Oh, that means that someone is aware of me to some extent or other. Damn it, what? That didn't even fucking... Fuck. Get...
Whee!
Thought I had a kill prompt on that guy, and then I didn't. Okay. He's de-aggroed now. Come on. Okay, here we go.
But that's only half the battle, because he dies twice.
Yeah.
Haha.
Are we just gonna go? Are we gonna go hide again?
I think so. I don't think we can kill him by backstabbing him twice, but at least get the other guy off me. Come on. I don't think we can kill him with a backstab, but we'll see. Oh, he got his health back. What?
Resetty.
Well,
He's got
aggro.
his second...
you left
No,
aggro.
but like he's not supposed to get his second life back. Like that's not supposed to happen. Alright, whatever. We'll just do it this way. Okay, come on. Come on. And we got it. Okay, now that guy's dead. Don't have to worry about it anymore. Now we can run and get this bonfire.
Tension ruin. On our end, anyways. I was literally just about to say, wow, I feel like the tension of that fight. And then you were like, and we got it!
I didn't realize the death blow one was so high on that. What? God damn it.
You missed. It's raining arrows now.
There's 3 of these guys. Okay. I think we're just gonna run past this. Damn it.
Probably a good call.
They shot me in the back.
They shot you in the butt.
Okay. So this is the guy from the opening cutscene who's our adopted dad. He's gonna die. Also, the whole castle's on fire. Take the hidden temple key. Cool, okay.
Now we can fast travel to the magical land of the basement.
Yes. Oh, can I not just leave? Do I have to go this way?
But if we could find a safe thing.
Yeah. Then we can instantly travel there.
Are we down there already? Yeah, we're right back where we were.
Yeah. So if you give me just a second, we can get to the save point that's just up here. Assuming I can get the grapple thing to lock on.
That was more like the back of your calf.
Okay. Now we've finally done all the requirements to get to the boss. And I don't know how much has been cut from this. If this is actually a 2-hour-long episode, I'm sorry.
No, that's not gonna happen. We'll make sure of that.
Alright, here we go.
Is she still chained down here? Okay.
Okay, that door opening is very Dark Souls.
Yes.
There's like, every now and then there's a bit where I'm like, okay, that's an asset from Dark Souls, or some sort of animation, or...
Yeah.
Some sound effects, I think.
We're gonna fight Lady Butterfly.
So he's Wolf, son of Owl.
Yes. So like I was saying, this is the fight where I learned how to play this game correctly. Now, when I beat it, I had some upgrades, so we'll see how well I do without those.
I predict you're going to swear a lot.
There was certainly a lot of that initially. I know how this works. Basically, what that was saying is, if you chip her vitality away, she will be able to hold posture. A lot worse. Ow.
Owls are actually pretty significant in Japanese culture, though. Like, they're a lot more than in the West. And it's like, they're like a lucky symbol, but then they're also like a protector and like a...
Oh, shit!
guardian.
Oh, I blocked that very slightly too late. Oh, yep. Come on, do your stupid grab move that I can punish. Oh. Heal up again. And the camera just delocked, which I may have noted. I may have mentioned that the camera in this game is still the worst bit of it.
We're kind of close. No pressure.
Is that it? Yeah, alright. It took me a good fucking 20 tries to get to that point. And that's part one.
Well, I mean, that did look quite difficult by the speed.
Yeah,
It's... Okay, so now she summons a bunch of guys, and the optimal strategy for this is to do laps around the perimeter. Because these guys will eventually turn into seeking knives, which is annoying.
Man, I want illusion powers.
You're surprisingly skilled son of hell, running around in circles.
Surprisingly skilled boo.
It'd be better if you were doing the Naruto run.
Oh, hang on, there's one here. Oh no! Accidentally untagged from here. Ah. Just got those crazy knives. Okay, so killing her apparently redid my resurrection, so I'm back.
But for how long?
The moveset gets slightly different. Ah. Anyway, that was Sekiro. The game's really fun when you learn how to play it. Learning to play it kind of sucks.
Welcome to Dark Souls.
Like,
Welcome to FromSoft.
In 2 hours, we got to where it took me like 10 hours to do. Like,
it is pretty.
and then I completely muffed it